Hello everyone, you are welcome to my YouTube channel. It is a new year, so I wish you a happy new year. I am Ibrahim Ridwan. In this video, I'll be showing you how you can create a foundation layout such as this in AutoCAD. However, we will not be using the AutoCAD main tools. We will be using a plugin for the AutoCAD, and that plugin is YQARCH. This is actually the first video I'll be making on YQARCH. YQARCH is a plugin that is very useful and handy for architects. With YQARCH, you can make your architectural drawing in a very easy and a very quicker way. Alright, so this is exactly what we'll be creating. You can see the detail of the layout. We have a column. Alright, it is a circular column and the diameter is 300. Alright, and then we have a footing. Okay, we have a footing of about let's take a measurement. Okay, so this is 1200. Okay, that's 1200 by 1200. So that is the footing. Then we have the ground beam. All right, the ground beam, let's see what's the width of the ground beam. The width of the ground beam is 300 as well. Okay, so let's see how we can go about doing this. So I will just I'll just copy all of this, and then I'll just highlight all of that, and then take it away by just deleting. So now we can start afresh. All right, basically what I'll be using is this plugin. Okay, so now go to the plugin YQARCH, and then we can go to plane wall / column. Okay, the first thing I will begin with is the grid. All right, so click on draw grid axis. Now this is going to pop up for me so that I can define what my grids are, my grid line. So you do this first. Now breadth, that simply means your x-axis. All right, then your depth, that is basically your z-axis. Okay, if y-axis is vertical, then this depth simply means z-axis. Okay, so here you can define your grid line. Okay, this is the last one I used. You can see I have 3500 space, not comma. You use 3500 space, 4200 space, 5000 space, 3500 space, 4000. That is the distance. You can see. So from here, basically from here to here is 35. From here to here is 4200. From here to here is 5000. From here to here is 3500. And from here to here is 4000. All right, then in this direction as well, I have it to be 3500 space 4500 space 3000. So do not use comma to separate them. You just click on space, space button. So if that is fine, just click on OK. Then you can just drop it anywhere. I'll drop it here. Now you can see my axis. So my axis is drawn such as this. Alright, so this is the first axis. Okay, you can see the identity here, axis 1. You can see the second one, axis 2, and then the dimension is there already for each grid line. Also the total dimension of all the grid lines is shown here. Okay, so that is good enough. Then the next thing will be to have our columns. Okay, the column points, there are column in every position. And then for the sake of this video, I will just employ one diameter of column. Okay, I want to use a circular column. You can as well use a square column or a rectangular column or even a T column. Let me just go to YQARCH directly. So under here, you will see the different kind of columns you have. You have rectangular, you have circular, you have L-shaped column, you have T column, and you have a column that have this plus sign. Okay, all this plus shape. Okay, so now I will just use arrange columns because I do not want to draw a single column. If you want to draw a single column, you can just go ahead with this. Okay, but I want to have several columns because I have several points that I want to put the columns. I won't go one by one. So just click on arrange columns. Now before you just drop your column, make sure you fill out some things. For example, angle, I do not need to fill anything about angle. Size, I do not need to fill anything about size because you should be worried about size if you're having something like a square or a rectangle. Okay, so now I'll be working with the diameter since I want to have a circular column. So just click on diameter, and now what do you want the diameter to be? I want the diameter to be 300 mm. So you press 300 on your keyboard, then enter. Now it says fill in state. Do you want to fill in your column? Do you want to arch your column? All right, so you just click on fill in state, and then you say Y. Y for yes, N for no. If you want to arch your column, yes. If you do not want to arch your column, no. So Y for yes, N for no. Then enter. So if that is done, then the next thing to do is just to drop my column. Alright, so since I have my columns at every point here, I can just take it down from here and then just like this. Okay, now you can see I have my column at every point and it has been arched. You can see the color. If you do not want the color, of course you know how to change that. Just click on it, then you go to home. You can see the name is column fill and this is the color. So if you do not want that color, just click on this, and then let's say you want something like let's say this, then just say okay. Then automatically everything will change. All right, so that is not a big deal. Now you can see that every point here has a column. Okay, so it is as simple as this. All right, then the next thing will be to have my footing, my pad footing. The section of my pad footing is 1200 by 1200. You should keep it in mind that this is a plan drawing. Of course, the depth of the footing will not be considered in a plan. All right, you just want to see the section. So I go to YQARCH one more time, and then I go to plain wall / column. Of course, I'll be using this same function, which is arrange column, because your pad footing is just like a column too, a rectangle. So I click on this, and then this time around I will not be worried about diameter, I'll be worried about size. All right, so just click on size, and then what's my size? I want my size in the x direction to be 1200. Then you put comma so that you can have the size, so that you can have the dimension for what you have in the z direction. So 1200 comma 1200, just like this. Okay, then you enter. Now do you want to fill? Let me click in fill state. Do I want to fill that? I do not want my footing to be arched, because if my footing is arched, it will cover the arch of the column, and that will not be good enough. So I will say N for no, then enter. So that is good enough. I do not want to put it in a particular angle. If you want to put it in a particular angle, you just click on the angle and you set the angle. Okay, so I'll just drag. I can drag from here, just make sure it covers all of the axis, and then you can just drop like here. Okay, so automatically your footing will come in place. Automatically it knows that it will drop it at where you have your grid lines, and that is the purpose of the grid line. Okay, alright, so you can just drag like that, then we are good to go. You can see all of the footing, they've come in place. Okay, now the next thing will be to have the ground beams. Okay, so now you go to your YQARCH, and then you go to plain wall / column. You can see this is wall / column. We are still using this same function. Then now I'm drawing a wall. Okay, so just click on draw wall, and then what should you be concerned about here? You should be concerned about the thickness. Okay, don't forget that this is a plan view, so your thickness here is actually the width of your ground beam. Okay, so I'll be using a width of 300. Okay, if the width you want to use is not part of this list, you can actually come here and change it yourself. Okay, so that is 300. Okay, so you can just click it here. You don't need to change it here anymore. The moment you click it here, it will automatically change this. So just click on OK. Now I've edited the thickness. Also, what do I want it to how do I want it to be aligned? Okay, so if you want it to be aligned to the center, if you want to draw your wall from center to center, you click this. If you want your wall to be aligned to the left, or aligned to the right, you can do all of this. Also, the layer you want to use for your wall, you can also set that. Okay, so but right now I think I'm good. Now all I just need to do is draw my wall. So I take it from the center here, and then I can just drag up till the end like this. Boom, then you can see my wall. Okay, then you can just continue the process. Drag like that, and then drop here, and then drop here. Okay, I can escape or just press enter one more time so that the function will still be there. This is AutoCAD. You can just press enter and enter again, then drop, enter. Okay, enter one more time. You can use your space bar instead of enter. It is still the same thing. I actually prefer using my space bar. So, and then you drop it like this, enter one more time, then enter, and then you drop it here, enter button or spacebar button. Okay, so you do the same thing here, then you drop. So that's looking good, right? And then whereas here, and then here, and then this is the last part from here, and then up to this position, then we are good. Now we have our layout just as this. Okay, so this is fine, right? Now the next thing will be to have the identity. All right, we have to put the identity of the column, the identity of the footing, and the identity of the wall, so that you can know the dimension, you can know the name, you can know, of course. Okay, so let's start with the column. Now I'll just go to I think the layers are doing fine. If you do not want the layers, obviously you can change the layers. Just click on this, and then you can see the name will be there, wall. So if you want to change the color, you can change that. So if you are not contented with layers, you can always do and undo. All right, so now I'll start with giving it identity. Then I'll go to YQARCH. Then I can go to text content. All right, now I will input a text. So click on that. Now what is the name I wish to have here? It is a 300 column, and then the name is C1. All right, but do not forget that this 300 is actually the diameter of the column, because it is a circular column. So I have to put the diameter sign. Okay, to do that, just click on this diameter. Okay, and then it will automatically put that diameter sign at the front. Okay, so if that is good enough, then what else? It will ask you what kind of text is it. Is it a general text, is it a comment text, or is it title text? Just click on general text, okay, or comment text. So any of these can be picked, and then it will ask for the style name. You can decide to use standard, annotative. This is just trying to change the kind of text you want to have, style name. And then the text height, how big do you want it to be? Okay, I don't want it to be too big, so 250. And then your layer name. And then if you want to have a different kind of layer, you can actually change that as well. You just pick. Let me show you how to pick. So let me say pick. If I want to use the layer of let's say wall, okay, let's say this wall, so you just need to click on this, boom, and then it will automatically use that layer. As simple as that. Here the column is a circular column. That is why we are picking diameter. Okay, so it knows automatically where it will put the diameter. It will be put at the front. All right, so if what you want to have is a percentage sign, you just click on this. If what you want to have is a degree sign, if what you want to have is a square meter sign, all of those kind of dimension style are here. Okay, underline, upper line, all of this. Okay, so let me just click on OK, and then I can place it around it. Just place it here. Okay, something like this. Then drop it here. I can drop it here. Okay, so however, I just use this layer to explain to you how you can pick a layer sometimes. Okay, but I do not want to have the same layer for my wall with the same layer for the text, so I will have to use a different layer. Automatically it will create the layer for it as it is working, but I'm the one who changed it by picking this particular one. So now I am left with the task of giving it a different layer. So I'll just go to layer. You should know how important a layer is in drawing, because your layer will actually make it easier for you to identify, and whenever you want to filter your drawings with the help of the layer, it will be very easier for you. Okay, so let me just put that, let me call it text. Okay, the name will be text, and then I can assign that layer to this. So let me just say where's text? This is text. Okay, so now this has become text. Okay, so to make it easy, I'll just copy all of this since they are the same diameter. So I'll just click on this, and then you can use your copy. Okay, copy, and then make sure this is aligned. Then you just drop, and then put one here. Okay, put another one here, and then put another one here, put another one here, and then you can put another one here. Okay, all right. Okay, they have the same diameter. That is why I'm actually copying. Okay, but the identity, you can see this is C1. Everything is C1. So here you have to change them. If this is C1, this can be C2, this can be C3, depending on your structural design. After the structural design, if the reinforcement in each columns are different, definitely the identity of the column will be different. So that is how you know how to do that. But for the sake of this video, I won't have to edit this to save time. Of course, you know how to do that. Let's say for example you want to edit this. Okay, so just you can just double click on it, and then this one you just change it to 2, and then you click outside. It's as simple as that. You can also use the YQARCH to change it. Let me change this particular one using the YQARCH. Okay, so you go to YQARCH, and then you go to text content, then you can go to modify any text. Okay, so click on modify any text. Now it will ask you to select that particular text you want to modify. Then I'll select this. Then from here you can just change this to 3, and then you click on OK. Then automatically to change this to OK. So you can use any of the 2 methods to change that. So anyone you are comfortable with, or you feel it is more faster, you can use that. So let me just copy all of this. I'll select this. Alright, so after copying all of this, I'll just have to copy them down. Okay, so just use your copy one more time, and then you take this, and then this I can just drop it around here, and for the last part I can just drop it around here. Okay, so that is good enough. You can have it like this. Then the next thing will be to give identity to the footing. Okay, of course we have to use the same process. So just go to your YQARCH, and then you can go to text content. Then you go to input a text. This time around I will be using F1 to say footing 1. Use general text. Use your text height of 250, and then this time around I'll just pick this particular one, which is text. Okay, then you can click on OK. Where do you want to drop it? It is fine to be dropped around here. Okay, something like this. You might as well decide to change the layer for this, so it is not bad. So let me just make the copy as soon as possible. Drop one here, drop one here, drop one here, drop one here, and then I drop one here. Alright, then you can select them all of this. Just select them. But unfortunately I cannot use select similar. Why? Because the layer for this footing text is the same as the layer for this column text. So if I select similar, it will also select the column text, and that is the reason why you have to be creating layer for everything you are doing that you feel it is different, for the purpose of selection, such as this. So now I'll just copy this and then copy it downward, so that I can have a label for this footing downward, and then this as well, and then for the last part here. Okay, you can see that the dimension of the footing, I'm not putting the dimension of the footing just as I'm putting it here. Why? Because if I decide to put it, it might be too long. You might decide to put yours, but I just want it to be like this: F1, F2, F3. So at the end of the day, you can just have a section, a section telling us the dimension of each footing, or you can create a schedule table for your footing, just attach it at the side. Okay, in order to make your drawing more clearer. Okay, now I'll move forward to give identity to the wall. Go to YQARCH, and then go to text content, then input a text. I'll say GB for ground beam. And what's the dimension? The dimension is 300 by, what's the thickness of the what's the depth of the wall? Even though the depth cannot be seen in plan, you still have to input the dimension. All right, so the depth is 700, let's say 750. Okay, and then it is a general text. Here I will reduce this to 200, and then the factor, make sure it is 1, because if you factor it by 2, that means this is times 2. So what about this? Let this be that. Then I can just drop it. Let me drop it here. If it is not dropped properly, you can use your move tool. Okay, so I'll drop it here, and then for the sake of context, I will change that. Let me give it a name. Let me say GB layer. All right, which is ground beam layer. then you close this. Now you can assign that to this GB layer. Where is GB layer? This is GB layer, and then the color for GB layer can be changed as well. I could have changed it from there, but I can still change it here. Let me change that to something like let's have yellow. Then okay, so that's good enough. I have to modify this, okay, because it's not just a ground beam, it is ground beam 1. Ground beam 1 might be different from this, so there should be a figure to differentiate that. So I'll just go to modify text, or you can just click on it here, double click here, and then you add 1 at the back like this, okay, GB1, okay, something like this. Very easy. Okay, if the text is too big, you can actually modify it. The text height, let's say the text height is too much. Let me just go to YQARCH, and then you go to text content, you modify any text, click on this, and then here the text height, let me change it to 150, okay, and then okay, then you have it like this. All right, so it is not a problem. You can always change your text height and everything, as simple as that with YQARCH. Now I can just click on it, and then you can make several copies. So I'll put one, let me use my auto, drop one here, drop one here, drop one here, and then I drop one here. All right, then just click on this, right click, and then you select similar. By selecting similar, you see that all of these have been selected, and that is the major reason for your layer. You know, it will be easy for you to make selection for everything that is similar. Then I'll use copy, and then I can just copy down. Let me copy to this position, okay, and then copy to this position, and then copy to this position. All right, then I can just take this, and then I can copy downward. Let me just copy here. All I will just have to do is rotate this. Then you can come to rotate here, okay, click on this, and then you rotate just as this. Now you can move this. Let me move it. All right, I can move it. I can click on that, then it can be placed here. All right, then now I have to copy. Let me use auto, then use your copy, then let me pick it from here, drop one here, and drop another here. Okay, now I can select these three, this one, and then this one, then I copy in this other direction. Okay, yeah, then I can have identity for this, have identity for this, have identity for this, have identity for this, and then identity for this. Okay, now you guys see that almost everything we need is now here. The identity of the column, everything is here. Now the next thing to put will be the title. So just go to your YQARCH, then you go to text content, you can go to input text. All right, then here I will call the name foundation. I'll use capital letter, foundation layout. All right, then this time around I'll be using the title text because it is a title. You know, it's the title of this drawing, and then automatically when you use title, you see that the text height has increased to 500. You can decide to use more or lesser. It all depends on you. And then what's the scale? You can see the scale. The scale is 1:100. So all you just need to do is click on OK. And then where do you want it to be placed? I want it to be placed here. Just click here. Now you can see foundation layout, and it is being what? Underlined. As simple as that. Now I'll go one more time. YQARCH, text content, and then input a text. Then here I will just write scale 1:100. You know, I'm very sure it is scale 1:100 because it is here. Okay, if your scale is different, you can also change your scale, but I usually draw 1:100. Then just click on OK. Then I can drop that here. If that is too close, you can always use your move tool. You know, just move this downward a little bit. Okay, then you can see that all your drawings are drawn in just a very short period of time. But to draw this column, you can see how fast and quick it is. To draw this footing, you can see how quick it was. To draw this beam, you can see how quick it was. Even to draw all of this foundation layout and the text, you can see how quick they are. The only thing that can take your time is editing all of this text to have the right identity, okay? Because I'm just copying. At the end of the day, you still have to change the identity from, let's say, C3, this should be C4, that should be C5, but that will still not take a lot of your time. And then you can see how fast and how quick you can create your column layout using YQARCH. So that is the purpose of using this particular plugin. It is to make your work easy and fast. If you like this video, kindly give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly give me a subscription. Thank you for watching, and thank you for always coming.